How you doing out there tonight? What up, Tracy? Thank you for being here. Yeah, I wanted to start this off and thank the Lord for another episode. Of course, you guys know, and thank all the subscribers, of course, and give a special thank you to Daniel, Wybara, Anonymous, Tavia, Jordy, Patrick, everyone who's helped. I really appreciate it, guys. Uh, yeah, I wanted to start off by telling you guys that if you've caught, hey, what up, Dora? If you've caught the last episode of Celebrity Clones, what was it, Celebrity Clones 14? The Phantom Menage. Pretty clever, huh, Tracy? That's a pretty clever title. Anyways, I want to tell you guys that in the beginning I was almost going to drag that in here and show it to you guys, but it was like my last video, so you guys are smart, so I figured I didn't have to drag that in there. But in that last video, it talks about there was a couple scientists, I think, talking about cloning centers, how they clone Nicki Minaj, and how there's many disinfo agents out there. So we're going to take off from there, guys, okay? And I'm going to try to make it clear to you. If you haven't seen that, then please, after this live stream, go check that out. I think Tracy Dora may have seen it. Anyways, what up, Dora? How you doing, Tracy? Tracy says hello. What up? And Dora says, hey, Pock, San Dimas, Callie in the house. Yeah, I fell asleep, Dora and Tracy, and I apologize so much for that. I might put a music video on or something, but there's another video that I have to drag in here, and it's the okay, maybe I don't. All right, never mind. It's James Casbolt talking about the secret programs. You guys check that out on my backup channel, but I was going to drag that in here. But basically, if you don't know and you're fresh to, like, whatever theories and whatnot, the first people, some of the first people that I ever heard of talking about cloning openly were George Green, famously. Phil Schneider's talked about it because he's talked about aliens and the technology and whatnot. But one of the earliest ones of, like, the modern day, who doesn't, like, a lot of people seem to forget because he's in prison right now. But his name is James Casbolt, aka Michael Prince. And if you guys don't know, he talked about cloning, the super soldier program. He talked about a big giant machine, okay, that when he was in the secret programs, was in a room, and they brought women towards this big glowing. He said it looked like what was it, a big glowing something. The women that got as closer to it, they were getting uncontrollably sexually aroused. So, like, that machine could do that. So there, I guess, that goes hand in hand with certain rituals and the sex magic. So please, yeah, I hope the kitties are in bed. But I wanted to let you guys know that those are some of the first people to ever talk about it. And if you don't know, I've posted a lot of George Green on this channel and on my pages on the TikTok and elsewhere on the internet. So before we move on, one of the first people I ever heard talking about, where they do it and how they do it, George Green. We're going to watch that video right now, and we'll be right back, okay? And we'll talk more about it. But as long as, let me lay the timeline out for you before we move on too much. But besides those other people I just named, George Green was the first person and he talked about aliens. He talked about a bunch of stuff. So if you don't know about George Green, check him out. There's a bunch of good videos on YouTube. There used to be a bunch of videos, at least. Like, someone told me on TikTok that you can't find any good videos of certain people, like Max Spiers. He used to have, they took him off for some reason. I don't know. But anyways, parental discretion. George Green, and then we had other people, Phil Schneider, of course, and in the 90s. And then in the early 2000s, James Casbolt was talking about it. He actually wrote a book called, what is it called? Man Buried Alive or something like that. But he changed his name to Michael Prince later on. So besides that, then we had a guy named Donald Marshall in 2011 who went viral because he was he did put out a post on Facebook, and he said that he was being taken to the cloning center against his will every night, and a bunch of, like I said, a technology that a lot of people, me and Ogtellies, know about, that George Green and Phil Schneider and others have talked about. So when he started mentioning certain things, like I say in the video we're going to watch, if there's even a 0.01% chance of something like, what certain people were talking about, especially, you know, a guy saying he's being tortured, then I think we owe it to everyone, including the people and, you know, the audience, everyone who could maybe help, who knows anything, to put that out there and share that information, right, guys? So that's where we're coming from it, me and certain others, and definitely made mistakes along the way. But so after Donald Marshall goes viral in 2011, a bunch of other people start, you know, well, people that I know of, like Og Telly's came out and start talking about the same stuff, and other people, and then even if you go look at what's that guy, Miles Johnston, his channel's huge. You know, he's got like 1 million subscribers or something. He even, you know, has a little segment. Someone brought up Donald Marshall about it. So, anyways, after that, like I said, made many videos, and we're going to show you a couple of them. I think it's called like holidays at the cloning center or something like that. But it's basically after I've made hundreds of these cloning center videos about what Donald Marshall had said. Right, at the end of the year, Christmas time or whatever it was, I made a special little video for the subscribers, and it was called like, but it was basically summing up everything that Donald Marshall had told us they do. So that's why I put a disclaimer at the beginning saying that, you know, this is his words, not mine. But after that, uh, we'll see some people talking. I'm going to show you a video about Clone A being a reality. So when you have people talking about cloning and whatnot, especially some guy saying he's getting taken there every night or whatever, very jarring. Anyways, after that, I'm going to show you the Clone A proof after I show you a compilation type video of Donald Marshall and some of his stories. And then after we look at I'm going to show you another cloning center video. And this is all, like, you guys, I want you to know that I may be biased now because I hate Donald Marshall's guts. And I want you guys to know that. If you've been a subscriber for a minute, you probably already know that. I'm trying to be as unbiased and fair as I can be. But I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm just letting you know that certain information, you run it down your chain of command, right? Does anyone else, Tracy, does anyone else do that? You have 4 or 5 people maybe that you trust, that are way smarter than you know, way smarter than me, and they always know, they never lead me wrong. So I've been doing the chain of command, right? And you got to realize that every single time you do it, you send whatever word up or down it, and it keeps coming back that almost everyone agrees. Everyone agrees what's going on, okay? I want to let you guys know that, what was it, 2016 or 2017, around the time Donald Marshall came into my live stream and started being racist and talking about my dead family, talking bad about my dead family, is when me and I think there's a clip with other whistleblowers slash truth tellers talking about it, but the whole chain of command got word that, because, you know, you asked me, like, well, we'll get into that later, but the whole chain of command was basically assured one thing, and the only guy who's not going along and saying that's really what's happening is Donald Marshall and all his people. And I want everyone in here to know that it's very sus, because, like, we want the truth, right? Why would anyone still want that? And you'll see. You make your own opinion. I'm not trying to decide for you, but in my opinion, I think this dude gets certain perks, get certain, you know, things, goods given to him because people, the first thing you say to him is, "Oh, you're getting tortured every night." But like I said, you draw your own conclusion. That's just what I think. Okay. There's no reason, like me and you. Well, anyways, I want you guys to know the truth, and that's what this whole video is about. If you want a part 2, I can make a part 2. Let me know. Anyways, I'm reading some comments before we get into these videos, guys. Hey, what up, Dora? Dora says, "Send money? How to you?" Oh, you're so sweet, Dora. Yeah, you can send money up to the Cash App. You got Cash App, Dora? You're so generous and sweet, Dora. Thank you for that. And you're definitely going to be modded. We'll give you that wrench. You know, that's just weird. Token of gratitude, yeah. But I can't tell you until you have to have it, because those YouTube will give me in trouble and say, "Hey, you're selling mods out here." I'm not, Dora. We love you, though. If you want to help the channel, we love you even more. Thank you. Yeah, the Cash App is the cash symbol and then all lowercase, Alexander L Moon, Dora. Or I got PayPal too. Yeah, but YouTube's being jerked, and they're trying to say that I'm not monetized worthy because I was mean to people, and I'm a big meanie. And I said, that's not true. That's not true, YouTube. Hey, Brittany, I'm not a meanie, am I? I am sometimes. What? Anyways, guys, very serious subject. I love you so much. Let's keep going. And then Brittany says, hey, what up? Brittany says, I think you forgot about checking your message. Yeah, I did, Brittany. I apologize. I went over there and I had a bunch, and I'm sorry. I was hoping you weren't mad at me. Or I may have sent it to an imposter. Yikes, LOL. Well, it's old news. Oh, don't worry, Brittany. I'll check it. I'm so sorry. Yeah. You got to realize, don't tell me it's a long story. But much love to you, Brittany. No offense to you. I hope you're cool. It sounds like you're down. If you're still here, you're not. You're not mad at me. I thought you'd be mad. Final boss, what up, buddy? Says, hey, PQC. I was going to say, have you seen that everyone is starting to talk about again, LMAO? Everyone did this in like, what year was it? 2018, 2019? Well, that's what I was going to try to explain to the people who have been subscribed for a minute, Final Boss. So thank you so much for bringing that up. But if you believe in the Mandela effect and you have like experienced it, then that kind of ties into this after we watch Og Telly's talk and other. That's why I was going to bring in James Casbolt, because he starts talking about the technology, and I want to let you guys know the technology. All right, the Mandela effect is not made up; it's real. People remember things a certain way that they're not anymore, and that has to do with multiverse theory, tears in interdimensional time links, supposedly. A lot of stuff, man, heavy stuff. And only people like Og Telly's can sit down and explain it to dummies like me. And I have to explain it to everyone else, hopefully. Hopefully they'll, nope, you don't explain it good. Well, I'll try, man. Try my best, man. Hey, what up, Derek? Direct. Says Smith. Says, y'all watch Tamara Magdalena, Lioness of Jeshua's 2 videos on YouTube. She does clone vids too. Brittany says, grr. LOL, I'm not mad. I'm still Brittany. LOL. You too, fresh. I love you, Brittany. See, it was a test. It was all a test, Brittany. And plus, I'm an idiot, Brittany. You got to realize, like I've told you that multiple times. I've confided in you, Brittany, that I'm not the sharpest knife in the spoon drawer. You know, Brittany, and it is what it is. But I love you. Doesn't mean my heart's in it. It makes my heart bigger sometimes. You know, when you're dumb, your heart grows 3 times. Okay. Tracy says, dang, Pot. We've been together for some years, huh? Yeah, it's been since, so long, guys. And I want to thank you so much. Through a whole pandemic, through earthquakes, natural disasters, through marshmallows attacking the channel. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to be incendiary. I want to show respect and let everyone know that I was raised with respect. So I'll try to show respect. And I love you guys. That first video we're going to watch, though, guys, not to bring everyone down too much, but is about George Green. Like I said, I've posted this all over. So if you've been rocking with the channel for a minute, like Tracy, you've probably seen this a few times. And I apologize, but it's necessary information for what is about to help explain what's going on. Thank you guys so much. I didn't even realize I was 15 minutes in the live stream. Let's watch this video. We'll be right back, okay? About George Green, cloning, advanced technology, and other stuff. We'll be right back. Thank you, Brittany.
You go to Disney World, for instance, down there in the Haunted Mansion, you see the hologram, right? Or you know how to make a hologram. Well, our scientists have learned how to make people. They call them synthetics. Are you familiar with those? Because synthetics, when you touch their skin, it feels like plastic almost. That's the latest technique. All I need to do is take 2 cells off of your body. We give them a small electrical charge. I'm just now they act like a fertilized egg. If I got a fertilized egg, all I need is a receiver in order to make it. So they were hypnotizing women, said they were being invaded by aliens. And the fetus starts growing, right? Needs food. Well, they can use cows and sheep, too. Again, a food source. That's all we need. After about 14 weeks, all of a sudden, that fetus is gone. Because they've learned to take, that's when the fetus starts developing its own blood supply. Then they've used a pituitary hormone extract that they have, which accelerates the being that grows. I'll give you something to ponder. Get some old videos of George Bush, when he first came into office. Look at the person and listen to him speak. Look at his actions and listen to everything that's there. Now, it's a lot easier to put somebody out in front to act as even Bush did. He had somebody else that was up there acting like he is and look like it. Even Hitler had You know, he had his stand. In fact, his stand-in was the one that they found in the ground over in Germany. I mean, Hitler and Eva and the dog and 14 other people got aboard a plane and flew down to Barcelona, Spain. You were aware of that, and then ended up in Antarctica or in Swabenland, and then died a few years ago in Brazil. I have all the documents from our own government. Stalin asked for the, you know, they tried to burn the body, and he got the body back, and he said, wait a minute, different ears, and the testicles were different and everything else, so they knew it wasn't Hitler. Since 1938, they've been making clone people. There's 8 countries making clones. If I start talking about cloning too much, the people that get involved into that you disappear on it. So I don't go into too many more details, but there is information that's available. The only thing is, sometimes you have glitches in it, so you have to have them tuned up occasionally or redone, and so we take them to Camp David, or there's a wing at Bethesda Hospital, to just tell you. If you go down there and check, you'll find the nurses, if they're willing to come forth, they'll tell you they work on those people, and they call them the others. I thought it was interesting. They're people. Remember, these people can think and act, but they don't have soul. That's also prophesized.
Could human cloning be among the many secret advanced technologies being used today, as George Green and many others have come forward to tell us? And they say if you ban guns, then only the criminals will have them. Could the same thing be said of banning human cloning?
Alright guys, mic check, hope you can hear me. How you doing? That clip right there was flagged on TikTok for hate speech. You believe that, Tracy? What? Anyways, that was in the late 80s, early 90s, I believe, that interview right there. And that's all, you know, information that was super fresh when he talked about it. And then I was going to show a clip here of James Casbolt, and he talks, like I told you guys, he talks about the technology. He talks about the alleged child sacrifice and the trafficking ring. And you guys know that's very taboo. They don't let you talk about certain things. So I was going to show that clip, but I don't have that clip, so we'll move on to the next clip of a cloning center video, and this was in 2011. No, this is when I started making these cloning center videos. It was like 2014 or something, a long time ago. And like I said, just out of the goodness of my heart, people who've been here for a minute know there was no money making off YouTube. There was like a month or two we were monetized. Other than that, other than the 27 years we've been here, we've never been. So I want you guys know there's no money or nothing about that. We really, like, I was happy when, you know, one of the videos got like almost a million views, a million. I was like, are you kidding me? We're getting it, you know, people are, and then the dude that's going to be in this video, his tails here, he attacked my channel, and he tried to get it taken down, and it's a bunch of other bullcrap that he did. But this is, you got to imagine me and any other decent person thinking this could be a possibility. Okay, so I was in the lab making videos every week. If you were a subscriber back then, that's why I got a few subscribers, is I was making one of these cloning center videos every week, baby, for years. So I thought I was helping someone. This dude, I guess it's all about attention, and of course we know he's full of it now, so that's, he gets some kind of clout out of it, you know, and so I guess, check this video out though. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for watching that, checking that out. I used to make videos like that a long time ago. Appreciate you. Hopefully, you maybe like that. But so we saw George Green, we saw that cloning center one, and then you dig deeper, okay? Because to be honest with you guys, you don't want to hear about anyone getting hurt or tortured or anything like that or R-worded. But to be honest with you, the celebrity thing is just skin. It's like the first layer. Uh, if you really care about, like, what I'm saying, you really care about certain things, and certain technology's real, you're going to keep, it's going to nag you until you figure out, certain things, like the truth about certain matters. So Og Tellies talks a little bit about it here. Like I said, James Casbolt, Max Spiers, others, rest in peace, Max Spiers, George Green, Phil Schneider, but let's check out this Og Tellies video where he breaks a lot of it down. And basically, I don't have it here on this video. I should have brought it in, but there's a video where Og Tellies talks about most people can't even remember, like, have memories of a cloning center or whatever you call it. So for someone to come out and say, have, more than 2 or 3 memories of it, like hundreds, literally, if you've ever read the Donald Marshall writings, you'll know he's got hundreds. He's talking pretty much bad about every celebrity in Hollywood. So that's crazy enough. But then later, Og Tellies talks about how, basically in this timeline, what you would call the cloning centers were taken out. And that means the government-run cloning centers. And if you look in this timeline, if you go back and look, because I investigated it, you'll see every president since, I believe, was it George Bush, the first George Bush? Might have been Reagan, but they denounce cloning and they make it illegal. So That's allegedly has to do with this timeline. It has to do with the Mandela effect. Like I said, if you believe in the Mandela effect, then you pretty much know you're going to know that this isn't, BS. Basically, is what I've been told. Maybe it's wrong because I know a lot of people do. I believe in the Mandela effect, and it would make. So, anyways, let's check this Kelly's video out, and then I'll be right back.
People that are in control, what you call the powers that be, are basically a conglomeration of all the various sects and orders that have existed throughout the ages. They basically have virtually unlimited funding and political power. What the recent tech they've been working on, what they've gotten up to this far is they call it the soul stealer technology, the soul catcher. It with a 4D, four-dimensional map of the brain, they can create a holographic chip that contains all the information of a person's memories of their personality. It apparently takes a lot of multiple supercomputers and even 0-point devices that I'm not fully aware of right now. The computers run off these devices, so it's literally almost unlimited power. It's hard to understand. Apparently, if you have a few of these devices in the right alignment, you could technically just blow the whole fucking world up. You can make it disappear. They're not planning on doing that or anything like that, but this is the type of power it is, and that's what, that's why it's kind of difficult, I guess, for humanity to even come to this point, because we have to go through the process of learning how to handle our power, or we'll bring out the worst out of everything. DNA replication and the complete mind brain mapping to create a chip is basically a four-dimensional map of the entire brain and central nervous system and body. And with that, they can do full-on replication cloning, where they completely recreate a human form. They figured out how to activate the DNA in the brain completely, and it unleashes full 100% capacity. What this equated to is going into a device or putting a helmet on, and your consciousness would be transferred into some type of electromagnetic waveform or something, and you basically could travel throughout space at first, and then time itself. You could travel through time in a chair. It's a trip chair. This mechanical device actually beams electromagnetic waves into your brain and allows you to, they say it unlocks your full capacity of your brain. That's why I say we're reality generators. It's actual time travel. You can see, that's how basically the first effects are that you see the future of your existence, and they can tune it in to push you forward or further, and you can take over and guide it yourself. But you see the different possible realities of existence. They basically can create artificial dimensions and take people there and play out whatever type of psychological experiment they want. And a lot of the knowledge behind this comes from the Nazis from World War II, so it's a lot of psychological experimentation. So there's at least one person that didn't fully come back from the device, but it is what they call a time travel device. A lot of them, the soldiers would go back or go forward and see the end of the world, basically World War III. You enhance your consciousness and you see that. But that's what would happen first. You would see your possibilities and whatever would happen as a result of that, which is why it's basically so dangerous, is that if you see a possibility that you don't want and you kind of enhance it and can't get out of your head, the only thing that ever happens from that is when you return, you'll take the steps to create that possibility. There's a big problem. It's almost like a fucking nightmare device at that point. Their line of reasoning is that, well, we went far enough, so let's go farther and to go to the end of time, to see to the far future, see what's going to happen. It's both the worst thing you could imagine and the greatest thing ever. All of space-time and consciousness becomes one essence, but that no one knows what that means. Where at least us two now is that the control group for that, all these secret projects, they basically have this power to go around, operate in and out of time, basically teleport themselves into any location and operate and influence a person's mind. They got a little out of hand. The gang stalking is from that. The mind control extending into just the general population and celebrities is a part of that. Basically need help. They want to get out of this situation. The people that began this project were the elite. They used the Nazi technology. They used the science behind it to gather people, basically, that they thought they could provide themselves with a little bit of amusement with. I hate to say it like that. Apparently Brittany Murphy, I think, died as a result of all of this, trying to speak out. And they said, yeah, Heath Ledger or whatever broke his neck trying to dance or playing around breakdancing in the base. They found talented individuals, these celebrities, these artists, models, whatever, and they give them this deal with all the power that you can imagine. And when, the deal is that their DNA goes into the archive and their bodies get used in a variety of ways. I don't want to say names yet because it's dangerous. Flip 30 channels, you'll see 10 of the celebrities that I've seen speak out to me personally and other people there that this needs to be stopped, and their genetics are cloned and they can't get out of it because it's consciousness. They speak out through their symbols and their music. That's what you have to look for. It's all over the media, and anyone involved is going to be hinting at it somehow. That's what all these symbols and hints are about. But these people aren't going to wait and say, okay, next week I'll come back and you can do what you want with my body. No, they want it every night, all day, now. So that's fucked up. That's slavery on many levels, beyond just the talent aspect. The cloning is coming out. They've been doing it for so long now that they're making an archive, basically, and they're basically drawing up everybody's neural information into the archive so that they can basically create a mirror image of reality and use that almost like a Noah's Ark in a way to achieve immortality. Just look around and read up on the Navy projects. That's kind of what started all of this. It gave them the power to go in at a time, see what's going to happen, and then organize plans like retroactively almost, but before the events happen because they're using this technology. So they're always honestly 10, 20 steps ahead of everybody doing anything here. So they're always honestly 10, 20 steps ahead of everybody doing anything here, which is also why they couldn't speak out. I'm just going to say it. Anybody in there, if they spoke out, as soon as they decided within them to speak out, it would show up on a grid or a device or whatever it is, and they could see that our timeline was going to be influenced by somebody influencing that project. And they could literally narrow it down so they see what person did what and who did where, and this time go and whack that person. It never happens. So honestly, all the people getting whacked, that's what it is. They all plan to speak out. And if you see little hints leading up to it, and you think that's what it's for, that's not what it's for. It's what they were going to do after that. That's why it's kind of scary. They're building an AI consciousness system, a technology, a consciousness, an actual artificial intelligence that can rule the world, that can be turned on with this grid and the 0-point generators and would never shut off, and it would have power over our mind. All the aluminum in the atmosphere is basically part of this AI system that is being constructed, that if we're plugged into it, it'll make all your decisions for you mentally. You won't have any way to overcome that unless your spirit overpowers your brain chemistry, which has to happen through that fear switch, when all the fear of the brain chemistry is pumping, and you willfully turn it in the other direction. People without that won't have any natural defense to a mind-to-mind scalar grid around the whole entire planet. And then if they have the possibility, they're going to do what they want with that power. They're going to make chaos reign. And out of that chaos, they're going to walk up the little ordered steps and stand on top again. And then there's really not a lot of people ruling the world. It's literally a handful of people. They control people through their emotions, through their fears. That's what I've learned. That's why I say it's no fear attitude we have to come at it with.
All right, ladies. Hey, what up, Prison Planet? What up, MD? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So you saw that video. You saw the George Green one. All right. So to end the presentation, basically, well, not end it because we still got a couple videos. Okay, check out this Clonade video, guys. I posted this on TikTok. Oh yeah, Tracy, it's crazy, man. So I just try not to be, anything I see that may be mildly offensive. I try to cut it out. Still, sometimes like. So anyways, check this video out about Clonade. I've got videos with millions of views talking about cloning, you guys. So some people know me, from 10 years ago. I literally did a live stream on TikTok the other day, and a dude came in and said, I've been watching, or what do you say, I've been rocking with Apocalypse for over 10 years now or something. So shout out to that guy. Thank you very much. You're the reason we're still here, because when they try to get us in trouble, all the great people, hopefully you're tweeting and you're fighting back, because that's the only, I have no machine behind me except the people. And sometimes they hate me and they're like, hey, I don't like this, hey man, it's like your opinion, man. But anyways, this is clonaid.com, cloning proof. So I just wanted to basically not do a full summary, but just let you guys know that maybe you're a military brat like me. I think Tracy is too. My mom moved around all the time. Her dad was stationed in Germany and all over the place for the military. So if you guys know anything about these secret programs, they use families like that are so, you know, not to, you know, say that I was one of those families or anything, but I'm just saying that there's certain trends you see, okay? Max Spiers, other people, they're military type. Anyways, that's usually, you know, so if anybody ever starts telling you anything, like, you should know that if they were involved in any kind of secret programs, it's got to, you know, you family probably has a lot of military type people in it. Check out this cloning video, guys, real quick. I will be right back.
Different types of human cloning: therapeutic cloning and reproductive cloning. Therapeutic cloning involves creating a cloned embryo for the sole purpose of producing embryonic stem cells with the same DNA as the donor cell. These stem cells can be used in experiments aimed at understanding disease and developing new treatments for disease. Reproductive cloning is defined as the deliberate production of genetically identical individuals. Each newly produced individual is a clone of the original. Monozygotic, identical twins are natural clones. Thus, cells from two clones have the same DNA and the same genes in their nuclei.
Even though tens of thousands of papers have been written about consciousness in the literature, nobody has a suitable definition for consciousness. What does it mean to be conscious, and how do you encode it? And what is the minimum amount of consciousness necessary to animate something else? This raises questions for artificial intelligence, because some people in the field of AI believe that one day we will be immortal. We will live forever. But the question is, what will live forever? The atoms that make up our body, that give us consciousness, that give rise to our personality and our fears and desires, that may die. But yet the essence of the neural circuits may survive. Now, there are many ways to do this, so let's break some of them down. The most ambitious has been proposed by people who believe that one day we will create a robot body that is perfect. A Superman, beautiful, elegant, super powerful body with no brain. Then we will start to extract our brain tissue, neuron for neuron, and duplicate it with transistors. So for every neuron we take out of our brain, we replace it with a transistor. And when it's finally finished, you now have no brain in your head, and here's a robot with a complete brain and a complete body. That's one of the most ambitious ways to transfer consciousness from our body to another body. And then the question is that really you? Well, there's another way to do it, and that way was explored in The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger. In that movie, the bad guys get killed, but each bad guy was cloned, and somebody was able to somehow photograph all the memories of our brain and insert these memories into the clone.
How many times have you been cloned?
I've lost count.
The initial steps are, once again, being made. At Caltech, for example, they've been able to take a mouse brain and look at a certain part of the brain where memories are processed. Memories are processed at the very center of our brain, and they've been able to duplicate the functions of that with a chip, that we've been able to take the information storage of a mouse brain and have a silicon chip duplicate those functions. And so was mouse consciousness created in the process? I don't know. I don't know whether a mouse is conscious or not. But it does mean that, at least in principle, maybe it's possible to transfer our consciousness and at some point maybe even become immortal.
I've seen non-human entities in bases over the years. I saw strange animal types of creatures in cages. Possibly this is a continuation of Nazi super race projects, genetic creations, because I know one of the sub-projects of Mannequin I was involved in was called the Tigris program. And in that they were taking modified animal DNA and injecting it into remote viewers, genetically enhanced espionage agents. I've seen a lot over the years. First memory was in 1981. I was 5 years old, and there was a group of 15 other children there by military officers. We were taken in, and it was like went through a corridor, and there's like a classroom set in there, tables and chairs. And we sat down, we all sat down, and we were given like puzzles, like geometrical shapes to put together. Yeah. And what they were doing there is we were all identified psychics, because it was the Project Oak Tree in the 50s, was before Project Mannequin. That was a genetic bloodline study, and that was run from Harwell Genetics Labs in Oxfordshire. But the Harwell Genetics study was called Project Oak Tree, and that was connected into all the major hospitals in the country. It still is. They're still looking for psychic children. Well, Barry King says it comes up on your records that you're part of a government genetic survey, but it doesn't say what that survey is. So they're trying to dampen down everyone's psychic abilities and bring the New World Order in. So people aren't aware of it. I think, to be honest, that I'm seeing a lot of these, a lot of the sub-projects of Mannequin in films and in X-Men comics. They're taking bits out of it. Project Mannequin, a lot of it is about harnessing radio waves, brain waves, and it's about sending them out through televisions, mobile phones and mobile phone masts. Yeah. It's like they're sending out frequencies, because everybody's got a telepathic receiver, like a radio receiver, the pineal gland in the brain. But what they're doing is they're dampening down the consciousness, because brain waves and radio waves are the same thing. So at the time that they're recording those frequencies from the brain implant onto a computer, and then what they're doing is they're sending that radio wave, that frequency, out through phone masts, through satellite and TVs, sending it out. And it's causing the crime rate to go up. It's causing people's anxiety levels to go up.
I was using meditation techniques and also using a very large pyramid to basically focus your energy.
What kind of meditation techniques?
Just sitting quietly. There's certain practices which you can use. If you are interested in this particular practice, contact me and I'll teach you about it.
Okay. But there are many meditations.
There are many meditation practices,
so
yeah.
You were going to a particular type of meditation.
Yeah, a particular kind of meditation with a particular kind of device as well,
right,
which helps you. Well, the device is actually termed, its actual name is a multidimensional communication device.
Is that your term, your invention?
No, it was invented by Ken Killock, also a clairvoyant. He's now dead. I think he was from Idaho. Once you're in the pyramid, it takes an hour to an hour and a half to completely charge up the capacitor plates inside the pyramid. Once that's done, it hits a layer of aluminium, it hits a layer of fiberglass, and it won't escape through that, and it fires back into your body. And at that particular time, you'll perceive a very, very, very bright flash of light. And generally, you find yourself standing outside the pyramid itself, but also aware of yourself.
This is your etheric body?
Yes, this is your etheric body, but you have full consciousness, and you're aware of two realities at the same time. And once you're in that mode, then no law of physics anywhere can control you. And I'll tell you something I've learned from someone else. I'll get onto that later. Very similar to what's described by Morpheus in the film The Matrix. He says, do you think you're breathing air right now? Do you think your muscles have any reality in this realm you're living in? It's that very same principle. And this is why they killed so many ancient Tibetan monks and South American Indians, because they could teach you that you could have pure physical force and not be in your body. So once you're out of your body, I can still walk up to you and knock you over. And they don't want you to know this.
Yeah.
Because basically you're just energy, whether you're aware of it or not. I'm outside, I'm energy, I'm out of my body, I have full consciousness, I can walk up to you, push you over. And it'd be like a ghost that hit you, or like something like that, because people do that, they get thrown over. And they call it entities or whatever you want to call them. dark spirits. But this is it. This is why they went up into China. First World War, where they bombed, tons and tons of bombs just thrown all over those temples up in Tibet, killed all those monks. And down in America, kill as many Red Indians as you can, because they hold the ancient knowledge.
Prince, the death of Prince that just happened is a prime example of that. There's a big ritual there's an enormous ritual that's just happened here. So you know, on Queen Elizabeth's birthday, Prince dies, and then Victoria Wood, who is, you know, not particularly a big name, but you have Victoria in there. So you also have Victory, and you have Queen Victoria. Well, I believe Queen Victoria and Queen Elizabeth are the same being. Mm-hmm. I believe Queen Elizabeth I and Queen Elizabeth II are the same being. So you have, they are using the energy of that. Also, Prince had a lot of life force energy. So then the murder, because he was murdered, the murder of him, then putting up the Temple of Baal in Times Square and in Trafalgar Square for 3 days. So you have, and that's the Trinity. So you have Prince, Queen Elizabeth, Queen Victoria, Trinity energy, opening the Stargate in Trafalgar Square, which is TS, and Times Square. It's to do with time travel too. Times Square. TS in basic numerology comes out to 39. T being 20, and S being 19. So 39. So you have the inversion of the sun, the gates of Baal opening. So I know what they're doing. They've opened the gates, and they're trying to bring Baal in here, and Baal is essentially Lucifer. Really, Baal is Lucifer. So what they're trying to do is they have to have all these Goetian demonic entities are living disincarnate. They don't have bodies, right? They don't have bodies right now. Some of them do. Okay, but not all of them. So they need. So I believe that some of these projects were put together to create a physical body, so when the time comes that they can put this disincarnate body into the physical body.
As far as, underground bases and disclosure and people in ET craft, so not all the craft that we see, well, in my perspective, I would say not all of the craft that we see are ET. Everybody looks up and there's something there. They just saw somebody, a craft tailing Air Force One. I think most of you probably seen that. Okay, well, how do you know that wasn't some part of the shadow military either offering protection or, or maybe doing something different otherwise? People instantly say ET. Well, it could be the military as well. To give a bit of full disclosure here is that a large portion of these bases were cut out of the timeline. So as of now, from our perspective, they closed, basically these cloning stations closed 1 to 2 years ago, if not a little bit more. And that it would look like now, from all intents and purposes, that it would look like a dream. That some people may have memories, but most people will not have memories of them unless they're specifically given the memories, because it's essentially from a parallel reality, and that we've been basically time jumping, and we're in a transitory timeline here, and this kind of ties into the Mandela effect and things like that. And the way we were told it is that it's the Mandela effect, because that's how the devices look that operate and change this effect, and that's how a person's consciousness looks if you could take your consciousness and turn it into a holographic representation or produce a device that would function as your consciousness does. It looks like a mandala, which is also where these mandalas came from earlier on, which ties into a whole bunch more. But so they're not really blowing up the bases or anything like that, but they're supposed to be basically It's a format for removing them from the timeline. And it's very strange. It has to do with time wars. It's almost inconceivable unless you've been there. It's really weird playing, a game with your memory and your mind. But that's what these groups are doing to try and preserve the timeline, the civilization of humanity. And other groups are, you can almost even say the other groups aren't really trying to hurt anyone. They're just so intent on feeding themselves. And the deception is so great within them that they're blind to the fact that they're even doing anything so disruptive as, wiping out a timeline and converting it into a parallel slave race in one reality versus a type of, not a paradise, but a much better environment in another reality where those alterations don't exist.